in the fucking messages, basically. So let me break it down to you, what old Paul Venis has been up to. So there's a man, you could say he's a bit down on his luck right now. His wife's having cancer treatment for breast cancer. So he's a fan of Paul because the old religious shit. He's a man of God, Paul's a man of God, he watches YouTube. He's done 2 and 2, come up with fucking 22, mate, yeah? So he's contacted Paul on Instagram and he's like, yeah, let me buy a pair of those trainers. I like them trainers, they look nice. Paul's like, yeah, they're going back and forth, talking about addresses and all the other stuff. All of a sudden, the guy sends the money and then Paul's like, oh, yeah, I'll send them soon. Remember, this is like the beginning of May, people, yeah? I'll send them soon. As soon as Paul's got the money, he don't contact him no more. He starts even getting a bit rude to him in the messages. So, Paul, why are you ripping people off whose wife's going through cancer? In the DMs, which I will release, it clearly said on Instagram, so go follow my Instagram if you want to see DMs of Paul Venis, the man of God, robbing people, robbing his followers. And his follower clearly says from the beginning, from the first start of the messages, I need these because my wife's coming out of hospital from cancer treatment, blah, blah, blah. So I want to look smart when I see my girlfriend. And you stopped answering his calls. You stopped answering his messages. And you know what I said to him today? I said, do me a favor, bro. This is like 6 hours ago, yeah? I'm like, message him. Just like, what's going on with the trainers? What's happening, blah, blah, blah. Because I want to see if he gets back to you today. Maybe he's been maybe he's been busy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's got fucking shit on his plate. Maybe he's got to pray for all the hungry kids in the world and he ain't got enough time to send you the product that you've already paid him for. You know? So he sends him 3 messages, couple hours apart. Paul don't answer none of them. And I'm like, interesting. So I'm sitting here, my big head's ticking. It's about 15 minutes before I go live. And I'm like, you know what, Dan? Message Paul Venis. Because maybe he's lost his Instagram. Maybe he can't get into his Instagram, Dan. You know, he is a man of God after all. He would never rob someone, especially one of his followers. You know what I'm saying? Whose fucking wife is going through cancer treatment. And he says it in every other message. And Paul can clearly see that. So message Paul, Dan, and see if he answers. Because I don't think he will. Because a man of God ain't going to rob someone, you know what I mean? So I message him, Paul, I think you should answer this, mate. I'm about to go live. And their little beg, hello, living in London, what's going on? How are you? Live in London, what's going on? You little bastard. So don't be telling me you can't see messages because you just replied to my messages within an instant. Like that. But this geezer who 3 weeks ago sent you money and you've totally locked him off, and I've got the fucking screenshots. He even messaged you today 3, 4 different times. You never got back to him. Why not, Paul? Thou shalt not steal. Unlike Danny Christie, where it says, thou shalt not punch thy mother in thy mouth. Don't say that, so, you know, you can kind of give Danny Christie a pass. But you're robbing people whose wife's in the fucking hospital with cancer. Not even getting back to them. You piece of shit. And riding on this God thing. The only reason the guy contacted you is because fucking you're a man of God. And you robbed him. You fucking robbed him. I don't give a fuck what you say, you robbed him. And guess what? I've been praying to my God. And if you want to be part of my God, $9.99 a month in my PayPal. You know what I'm saying? And my God will answer prayers. So I've been praying. I'm like, please God, let Paul Venis contact this man in the next couple days and send in the trainers and give him an excuse. And something tells me that's what's going to happen. There's been no contact for 2 to 3 weeks. But after this video of me out in Paul Venis robbing someone whose wife's got fucking cancer and he's going through it, and it's been over 3 weeks and Point replied to one of his messages. What? Nah. Something tells me my God's going to make this right. I don't know, but we'll see. Yeah, Paul Venis has been robbing people, his own followers. Imagine that. You're a bad guy, Paul. You're a bad guy. And see these type of things here, where you're dealing with someone one-on-one. You can kind of see your intentions, bro. How the fuck are you selling items, you, Paul? You're selling items and you get the money and then you just stop talking to people. That's called a rip-off, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So, we'd like you to answer that, Paul. And I went on your YouTube channel. Maybe he's going through some shit. Maybe he ain't posted. He posted the other day. He posted today, I think. So you're posting on Instagram, you're posting on YouTube, you're responding to my DMs, but the person that sent you money for fucking items that you're selling, you've totally locked him off. And I've got the screenshots, bro. So I'd like to know, Paul, why are you robbing people? I'm sure the Bible says thou shalt not steal. You know what I'm saying? So, what's that about me, old mate? Can't trust these guys, you know. You cannot trust these fuckers. I remember when I was watching the James English thing, and it's like Britain's hardest doorman. Now, I'm sure him and James come up with that. But out the blue, he's like, I want Britain's hardest doorman. I don't know where that come from, but that come from your big mouth talking shit. Some fake God squad, bruv. The geezer went to church maybe 5 years ago when he was coming down off coke, and he thinks he's religious ever since. Religious is not just a fucking something you say because you read the Bible. It's your actions and your intentions. And if there is a God, your connection with God. But if you're robbing your own followers for trainers and shit, and your other mates spreading lies about another man just to get up on YouTube, Saturn tells me birds of a feather flock together. You and Danny Christie full of shit, using this God thing because it's actually giving you some sort of traction. Without the God thing, what the fuck would you have? Nothing. Little sausages. So yeah, the old God squad robbing people. And when you see the messages, they're bad, you know? The guy's like, bro, I'm going to see my wife today. Is there any news on these trainers when I can get them? Like, you let me know, people. Let me read some of these. Humble, Dry and Burkett are the biggest wrong ones of the lot, yep. Big up Joe Kids Senior. Well said, Doc. What's going on? Danny Christie's video. It was almost kind of nice. And it takes the wind out yourselves. You can't really go at someone who's fucking being nice to you and talking all that other shit. But bro, you're hiding behind religion, so it just pisses me off even more. It has more of an effect than if you didn't go at me. Because I can see through it. This whole internet nice, God thou shalt, bruv, all that bullshit, bruv. Shut up, bruv. You gotta live. The fuck's going on right there? You gotta live religious, bruv. Ain't all about talking shit on YouTube, thinking you're good for fucking 5 minutes. God said this, you're talking all that shit, and then you're going and ripping people off. Nah. Going on YouTube for like, yeah, God said this, people, so make sure you do the right thing. Oi, mum, bang, make me some toast. Oi, ain't no divvies around here, mush. You know what I'm saying? Something ain't adding up with these geezers.
It's your boy living in London. Please like, share and subscribe. Please put some money in my PayPal towards my star dog, yeah? Haha. Only joking, Lazar. That's about as insulting as this video is going to get. You come to my attention. I unsubscribed from your channel a while ago, as I did with so many channels, you know, nothing personal, but it was the negativity of surrounding all this stuff. Now, somebody about 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, sent me a couple of links, you know, and it was basically just you ripping into me. I watched about 10 seconds of each of them, and I never bothered. It doesn't concern me, that stuff. I'm not bothered people using my name in a negative light. The only thing that really does concern us is when, of late, you know, people, they kind of take to the camera and they pretend, or they give off the impression that me and them are like in cahoots and we're going after something or someone. That's not the case. I'm not a part of anybody's team. I'm not going after anybody. So if I can nip that stuff in the bud, I will. But as far as people like yourself, you know, saying all kinds about, you know, me, I'm cool with that. It doesn't bother me. Look, I wear the full armour of God. Okay? Now, I never watched much of them clips from whenever it was. 2 weeks ago, say, tops. I never watched much of them. I thought, just Lazar doing his thing. But then, this morning, on my 10 o'clock bait, I seen something. It was like, you know when you get mentioned in YouTube by someone else, and it like comes up and you mention, so like me and you were both sort of tagged in the title of this video. I can't remember the name of the channel. Some like little trouble causing type channel, you know what I mean? Look what Lazar's saying about you type of thing. You know, and you fairly went in there, you know, and you went after, you know, my faith, my fellowship, you know, you went after my past. All that's fine. All that's fine. You know, that's not really what I'm here to address or, you know, return fire on. I'm just here to give you a little bit of time and energy like you've been giving me so much of. I think it's only fair, yeah? Now, like I say, that stuff doesn't bother me at all. You can go in deeper, go in harder, and you must try a little harder if you really want to get under my skin. Not that you will, but your efforts are quite poor. But, you know, considering, you know, I had my mum on the phone about the video, saying, you know, why do these people keep going on about this stuff and that, you know? I thought, just leave it, mum, you know. Then I thought, no, I'm going to address it. Now, me being part of an honest programme, you know, that doesn't mean that I've got to answer every question from every Tom, Dick and Harry with honesty. I'll just ignore the fools, you know, and the people who I don't respect. I'll just ignore them. Now, and by the way, what you know about honesty, integrity, and, you know, fellowship and faith, for that matter, all four of those things, what you know about them could be written on a grain of rice. Yeah? So, I said, Mum, leave it. You know, so I said, I won't address it, I'll leave it. But this is me addressing it. Right? Now, I don't know what the chew is, or what the beef is really, you know, between me and you. I don't have any really ill feelings towards, I don't have any respect for you, but I don't have any ill feelings towards you, like that. Not to the point where I'm going to, you know, slander you or say anything that, you know, I might think, you know, might be classed as insults or anything like that. But you're one of these, Lazar. You're one of these. You're like, your mouth constantly writes checks what your chin cannot cash. You know, I've seen you take a punch, your ability to take a punch, or not to take a punch, you know, for words of a better description. You know, you do have an infant's chin, you know, and that's fine, nothing against that. You know, you certainly seem as somebody who can't fight physically, you know, and that's fine too. But you've got this mouth, yeah, you've got this mouth, right, and you go after people, and you're slanderous, and you're cocky, and you're cheeky. But you see, sometimes I feel like I've been shot out from a twilight zone, a different dimension sometimes, because, and I've said it before, where I'm from, you know, if you can't physically back up all these insults about people, you know, you're probably going to get folded up. Now, the only time I ever really mentioned you was when our Ben flat-packed you like a set of drawers from IKEA. Yeah? That's the only time I ever mentioned you, and it was in a respectful, defensive light. You know, and I don't regret that. I don't regret that, because I felt sorry for you, you know, the way you hit the floor and that, and whether you deserved it or not. I mean, you couldn't take a punch, and it wasn't fair. So I had you back there, you know, and that was what it was. I don't regret that. But you see, where I'm the type of person I am, you know, I'll stay in my lane. I'll never open my mouth and insult somebody with, you know, derogatory comments or insultive language, you know, to a point where I think I physically can't back it up. I can back up anything I ever say about anybody, you know, and your delivery, it's not bad. Your delivery isn't bad, you know. I mean, fortunately for you, I'm no longer that person anymore who sits and smokes weed and sits and puts the world to rights and insults people and that. Fortunately for you, because I was much better at it than you, if you like. My delivery was better. I've got a much wider vocabulary. You know, I've got a way. I had a way with it. You know, I had a very decisive way of getting to the point. I had a constructive way of going about it, and I had intelligence. You know, I had something which I don't think you've got quite enough of. You know, to be getting into verbal spars with people, because if I was that person like a year ago or something, and me and you got into a verbal altercation, I would verbally destroy you, mate. You know, I'd start at your shoelaces, and I'd probably have you in tears by the time I even got to your belt buckle. You know, because like I say, you lack the creative intelligence and the vocabulary to really keep up if me and you to get into a verbal spar. Now, I'm not going to go into what would ever happen if, you know, if I ever hit you. You know, I'm a bit heavier than Ben. I crack a bit harder than Ben, I think. You know, so mentioning that stuff, you know, wouldn't really be fair. I think it's obvious. But like I say, you're one of these types that, you know, you go after everybody and everything to try and, I think it's to try and stay relevant. That's what I think. I think it's to go after relevance, you know, to have some relevance in what you're doing, because you don't have particular topics, or you don't do or say a lot of things positive, in my opinion. You know, and I think that's where it comes from. I think, you know, this like craving to be relevant. Now, like I've said, I don't know what the beef is between you. I don't know why I'm in your crosshairs, and I don't mind either way. You know, I can only assume and surmise. You know, and from what I see and what I think personally, you know, I think you might look at me, you know, and think, in comparison to yourself, I think you're one of them that does that. You compare yourself to others. Try not to do that. No good. Only compare yourself to yourself. You should be the only basis for comparison within. It should be all you go after, you know. But I don't think that's the case with you. And I think that perhaps you might look at me and see the positive direction that.
Why the fuck would I have someone offer 140 quid? Living in London is fucking backward. So what's happened is, right, I sell hundreds of pairs of trainers every week. You've seen my trainer collection. You see how passionate I am about trainers. And it's not about making money for trainers. It's about something that I'm passionate about. That is it. So the only thing what I think he's on about, because I have 100 messages around trainers, then I have another 100 messages to answer around mental health, around addiction, then another fucking lot to talk about autism. My Instagram is busy like you wouldn't believe, like beyond words. You know, so if I am going about my day-to-day business, I'm working silly hours, I'm working non-stop. So when I come home, if I don't want to look at my Instagram or look at my phone, then I have no right to. Like, I don't owe anyone anything. I do my best to go through messages and talk about addiction, talk about mental health, talk about autism, and I answer the questions around trainers, because I have shitloads of people around talking to me about trainers. So when I'm selling trainers, all out my own collection, by the way, which is what it is. I'm selling a lot of trainers every week, every 2 weeks. I'm sending fucking shitload of trainers halfway across the fucking country. Do some trainers not get there? Some trainers don't get there. I refund people. If they message me and say trainers still aren't here yet, trainers still aren't here yet, then if they don't get there, then I transfer them the money. It's only ever happened to me twice. So there's a guy who messaged me about a pair of green TNs. So I'd sent him out late. He was messaging me all week saying, look, the trainers haven't come. I said, look, I haven't sent them yet. I've been busy. So I sent his trainers out. They should have landed, but he was messaging me saying they hadn't landed. So I've only just looked at his messages tonight, because we're living in London making this video tonight. All I've done is I've gone through the messages and I've seen that he's bombarded me with loads of messages. So all I've messaged him says, look, if the trainers aren't here by Monday, I refund you. It's simple as that. Oh, yeah, that's what he's on about. But other than that, he's got fuck all, has he? He's a fucking idiot. Yeah, all the trainers are legit. Every single pair of trainers that I've posted on my Instagram are all legit. You know, I have 10 Toes UK, who was sponsored by, well, I say sponsored. You know, I done a promo code with him where I was selling trainers. You know, you use my name, you get 10% off. You know, and you just message him. Message him, he'll tell you I'm legit. There's loads of other people that I've sold trainers to that have all got there. So 1 or 2 hiccups around trainers is not. It is what it is, isn't it? Like fucking hell. I know what you're saying, Daniel Cooper, mate. I know what you're saying, but this is one of the reasons why I'm not too fussed about YouTube today. Because all you get is cloud chasing monks like Bazaar, who want to mention people's names and try and expose people for fucking nothing. Do you know what I mean? Absolute nothing. Much pockets, proper plonker he is, proper plonker. But, you know, I was just there chilling, and then someone sent me the video that I'd said, so I just thought, fuck it, I'll make a video and answer back. You know, I've got now against Lazar, and I watched a bit of what he was saying, You know, he has been right. He's always messaged me. He's always showed me respect. I've always showed him respect back. Do I like this channel? No, I don't. I'm not. You know, I don't subscribe to his channel. He's a fucking. He's an idiot. Any the way he talks, the stuff he talks about. I've got no issues with him. I've got no problem. I still don't have a problem with him. You know, it is what it is. But other than that, I just thought I'd come on dead quick. You know, and just give him his answer that he wants. You know what I mean? But you'd love to wring his neck. To be fair, mate, I wouldn't really. Not after I was seeing how he flopped against, you know, at the 3D Fight Club. You know, what would I gain from putting my hands on him? Absolutely nothing. You know, I wish him nothing but the best. You know, and when I finish on this live, I will pray for him. I will pray for him because I've got far more bigger things to worry about than him. You know, this is one of the reasons why I've had a bit of time off YouTube, had a bit of break off YouTube. Not because anyone gets to me, just because it's not a real place. You know, YouTube is not real, especially for people like Lazar, who can sit behind the camera and give it big licks and call everyone out. When in truth be told, he couldn't walk a fucking day in Danny Christie's shoes. He couldn't walk a day in my shoes. He couldn't walk a day in most men's shoes because he's not a real man, is he? You know, his real world is YouTube. He sits behind his camera, giving it the big, and everyone's seeing how he acts when he's in, you know, he's in a confrontation situation. You know, he doesn't handle it well. He doesn't come out too. See, I've never yet seen him come out good in a confrontation. You know, I think he embarrassed himself against Marvin Herbert. I think he fairly embarrassed himself at the 3D Fight Club, even though I did feel sorry for him. You know, I've got to be honest, that anyone who gets punched and wears glasses and you know, looks seriously hurt, then of course I'm going to feel bad for him. You know, and I still do feel bad for him. That nothing will change. And what I said about him when I spoke about him, you know, I meant it true. Do you know what I mean? He was there to entertain. He didn't deserve to get punched. I'll tell you that. He didn't deserve to get punched. But, you know, I've got no ill feelings towards him. I've got no ill feelings towards him whatsoever. You know, I understand the journey he's on around YouTube, and I understand his content, you know, because that's all he's got. Danny Christie at the nail on the head. He is irrelevant. So for him to call people names and call people out and, you know, mention people's in his YouTube, you know, other than that, what has he got to give? You know, what has he got to give? He's got nothing to give. He's got nothing important to say. He's got nothing interesting to say. The only way he has any interest around his channel or around him is when he mentions Danny Christie's name, my name, and anyone else who has a YouTube channel. That's the only way he stays relevant. You know, other than that, he's got nothing to give.